Taking a look outside here, more sunshine on the way, but also some rain potentially on tap this weekend. Andrew has a timeline to help you plan your Saturday and Sunday.
Plus, the U.S. Supreme Court ends nearly 50 years of constitutional protection for abortion. You are looking at video from the outside of a court building on the Capitol complex in Washington, D.C.
And here in Michigan, the legal fight for abortion is still playing out. Last month, a judge suspended a 1931 law that made abortion a crime. So, until the state Supreme Court rules on the law, abortion remains legal in Michigan. A much different story across the country with 26 states that have laws indicating they plan to ban abortion. We have comprehensive coverage coming up for you next.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News Today starts right now.
Well, good morning. It's 7 o'clock. I'm Grant Herms.
And I'm Victor Williams. Thank you for joining us for Local 4 today.
That's right. It's going to be a hot one out there today. Ooh. Maybe some rain on the way. Andrew, is that front going to come through and give us any relief here?
Well, I'll tell you what, Grant and Victor, that front starts to come through later on tonight and actually for tomorrow. Ahead of that front, we'll see cloudier skies tonight. In the meantime, though, blazing sunshine for today. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s right now, but with the sun already up, sunrise began at 5:58. We'll see those temperatures in the next hour around 70 degrees or just a bit more. On our way to the 80s as early as noontime, 83, then near 90 degrees later on today. So take care out there in the heat and humidity. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Make sure the kids and seniors stay hydrated as well. Your beach and boating forecast for today looking like a good one. Head to the beach, waves 0 to 1 foot. Same thing if you're boating. Water temperature on, closer to the shoreline in the 60s and 70s in the big lakes. So looking and feeling good, especially when you step in the water. Just don't forget your sunblock. And of course, if you're boating for today, make sure that you have those radios that are working. Make sure you have life jackets for everybody. Beautiful look at downtown Detroit currently with 68 degrees, 1 degree higher than just an hour ago. But as you can see, temperature and heat index one the same. That changes with high heat indices later today. You can track those temperatures, heat indices, the chance for rain, anything you like with the Local Forecasters app, so download it now. You can go to your app store, you can scan this QR code, and in your favorite app store, it's free, search WDIV for the Local Forecasters app.
All right, thanks, Andrew. We'll check back in with you very soon here. We do continue to follow breaking news out of Norway this morning, where at least 2 people have been killed and more than a dozen were hurt after a shooting. Police say they believe the shooting was a terror attack. It happened overnight at an LGBTQ nightclub in central Oslo. The Pride Parade was set to be held in Oslo today, but has since been canceled. Organizers wrote on social media that they were shocked by the incident. One person has been arrested.
Also breaking, police fired tear gas from the windows of the Arizona Capitol building to disperse hundreds of people demonstrating outside. The lawmakers were working to complete their 2022 season as thousands of protesters gathered on the Capitol grounds in Phoenix, divided into groups condemning and supporting the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision. An Arizona Department of Public Safety spokesperson says the protesters repeatedly pounded on the glass doors of the state Senate building. He said the group moved across the street where tear gas was deployed. After a monument was vandalized, at least 2 lawmakers confirmed some of those details. The demonstrators come after several Arizona abortion providers say that they preemptively paused abortion services due to the lack of legal clarity in the matter.
And thousands of spirited demonstrators took to the streets Friday in cities nationwide to protest the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Most carried signs, chanted slogans, and listened to speeches. Video on your left here from Los Angeles, where protesters brought traffic on the 110 freeway to a standstill. Video there in the middle of the screen is from protests in Chicago, and on the right, protests in Washington, D.C. The Supreme Court's decision is a momentous break from a half-century of rulings on one of the nation's most contentious issues. About half the states have already indicated they would move to ban the procedure. NBC's Bree Jackson has this report.
No justice! No peace!
Reality sinking in this morning following nationwide protest after the Supreme Court overturned the constitutional right to an abortion. In a 6-3 split, justices on the high court sided with a Mississippi law that bans almost all abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Justices also striking down Roe v. Wade in a 5-4 split, which protected a woman's right to get an abortion for half a century.
I wasn't surprised, but I was disappointed nonetheless.
We are grateful for this decision. We celebrate it. We welcome it.
President Biden promising to protect a woman's right to an abortion.
My administration will use all of its appropriate lawful powers.
Legal abortion on demand! Legal abortion on demand!
While the decision is shocking, it is not a surprise. An early draft leaked in May. Justice Samuel Alito, along with 4 of the bench's conservative justices, called Roe egregiously wrong and deeply damaging. And in a scathing dissent, the liberal wing of the court says the draconian opinion will curtail women's rights and their status as free and equal citizens. Today's ruling will increase bans on abortions nationwide, with 13 states preparing for trigger laws to take effect immediately.
The right to life has been vindicated.
It's a slap in the face to women about using their own judgment.
Nearly 50 years of policy abandoned, forcing women across the country into potentially risky health care decisions. In Washington, Bree Jackson for NBC News.
And here in Michigan, anger over Friday's landmark decision resulted in 2 big protests in Detroit and Ann Arbor, with more than 1,000 people rallying at each event. Our Mara McDonald has our report.
Ann Arbor on the Diag, where the group assembled, screamed out their collective frustration with the Supreme Court's decision.
We were supposed to be hanging out on a back porch eating blueberry crisp, and we said, no, we're going to the Diag.
With the blueberry crisp now firmly on the back burner, Laura and so many others turned out in Ann Arbor.
What happens, unfortunately, is people get pregnant with not meaning to, even if they take precautions. Their whole life hangs in the balance. And having the right to make a decision about how your life is going to proceed is so critical.
Anybody that didn't see this coming in the last 3 to 5 years has not been paying attention. And now that the fight's on, it's game on. We've got to figure out how to win this thing.
Well-attended protests had people turning out en masse, both in Ann Arbor and in downtown Detroit at the federal courthouse.
I have nieces who are of reproductive age. It is all I've known that I can make decisions about my body. I am scared for them and what that could mean for their future.
Come on! Join the fight!
The real question, does this outrage manifest into any action in the midterms in the fall?
I would say to everybody here tonight, we got to make our voices heard. You read this opinion, you should be worried about what Justice Thomas said as well, and saying that we need to relook at every decision.
Mara McDonald, Local 4.
And Justice Clarence Thomas explicitly called for the court to reconsider its rulings striking down state restrictions on contraceptives, state sodomy bans, and state prohibitions on same-sex marriage, saying, quote, "We have a duty to correct the error established in those precedents." It's exactly what liberal justices have feared. In their dissent, those justices wrote, "The right to Roe and Casey recognized does not stand alone. The court has linked it to for decades to other settled freedoms involving bodily integrity, familial relationships, and procreation."
And Governor Gretchen Whitmer has been very vocal in the past months about making sure the state's 1931 abortion ban does not become law here in Michigan. The legal fight for abortion is still playing out. Last month, a judge suspended a 1931 law that made abortion a crime. So until the state Supreme Court rules on law, abortion remains legal right here in Michigan.
Meanwhile, the legislative director for Michigan's Right to Life says Friday's ruling from the bench is just the beginning.
There is a lot of uncertainty right now, and for Michigan women, including my own daughters, I'm going to continue to fight like hell to protect and make sure that they've got the same rights I've had my whole life.
This is the first step. Getting rid of that federal right to abortion in the Constitution that was never there, that was discovered, and returning the decision back to the states will be the first step in allowing states to once again protect the unborn child legally.
And those against abortion rallied across the state on Friday. One celebration took place at Planned Parenthood's Livonia Health Center.
Supporters say Michigan's 1931 law that makes abortion a crime is valid and should stand. The rally was sponsored by Citizens for Life.
This is an amazing victory because it means that the floodgates of the killing of innocent human life is over. It means that our country has created at least an environment an opportunity where we can continue to defend life in a way that we could not before.
And we have much more on the ruling at clickondetroit.com, including reaction from local leaders. We've also posted the entire 213-page opinion. That's all right on the homepage.
This morning at 8:30, President Biden expected to sign the bipartisan gun deal into law.
On Friday, Congress approved the deal. It is the first major federal gun safety legislation in decades. The bill includes $750 million for mental health and crisis intervention programs, school safety, and incentives for states to enact red flag laws. The measure was overwhelmingly approved in the House after a narrow majority in the Senate on Thursday night.
We take a historic first step toward ending the epidemic of gun violence in this nation.
This is the sweet spot, Madam President, making America safer, especially for kids in school, without making our country one bit less free.
The bipartisan deal required the support of 15 Republicans in the Senate.
And here at home, a man wanted for a double murder is arrested in Wayne. Police say Christopher Greer is suspected of shooting and killing two sisters back in January. Dominique Parchman and Shina Hall were found shot in their apartment. Now, nearly 6 months after their murders, police have Greer in custody and believe he's responsible.
A mother is now facing charges after the body of her 3-year-old son is found in a freezer. The discovery was made Friday morning at a home on Monte Vista near Grand River and I-96 on Detroit's west side. Neighbors say the child had been missing since January 5th. 5 other children were believed to also be in the house when the discovery was made during a welfare check.
We had been praying that the little boy would be found, but I had no idea he would be found dead. He was blind.
And we're looking to see what other incidents she's had with CPS as well as the police department. That'll be part of our overall investigation.
Now we're told that the children have been removed from the home, but there is no word on what charges the mother will be